What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to Shooting the Shit Uncensored. You know who this is. It's the truth, the dad bod god, baby, the bald, the beard, and the fucking beautiful Piers Austin. And hey, tonight, man, we got a fun one for you guys. We have an entrepreneur. We have a content creator. We got the one, the only, Pauly fucking Long in the house. And I'm really excited to have a conversation with Pauly. I've been a big fan of his content for a while, man. This guy eats raw meat. He eats testicles on the fucking daily, and he's got some kind of beef with a guy called Liver King. So we're going to get into all that kind of shit and much, much more. But before we do, you know I need to take a quick second, a quick pause for that cause and talk about our amazing sponsor for tonight's episode, and that is Sleefs.com. That's SLEEFS, Sleefs.com. If you or someone you know is an athlete, and we all know a fucking athlete in our lives, so head over to Sleefs.com because they've got you covered for all your athletic wear and gear. They've got armbands, compression pants, compression shorts, headbands, boots, mouth guards, and they've even got those dirty boxes that you know I'm always rocking. Seriously, guys, I'm an active guy. I work full time. I do a podcast. I go to the gym. I'm on a lot of shows doing commentary, ring-outs, you name it. I'm non-fucking stop. But these boxes are the one consistent thing, man. They are the most dry, comfortable pair of boxes that I've ever owned. As a matter of fact, I chucked out all my other shit. I only wear dirty boxes. So, guys, go and check out those dirty boxes. Use that promo code MWAPOD to get a 10% discount on your final purchase. Also, wherever you're tuning in, I appreciate it. If you're tuning in on YouTube, baby, please give us a 5-star review. It helps with, that's what you do on the podcast platforms. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm excited. But if you're tuning on YouTube, make sure you tap that little red button and tap in, because you know I'm bringing you the best conversations from the world of entertainment, content creators, musicians, professional wrestlers, boxers, Muay Thai fighters, you name it. We're bringing it to you. So get to tapping and get to clicking in. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, like I said before, give us that 5-star review because it helps with the analytics. It helps us bring more amazing conversations to more amazing fucking people like yourselves. So get to clicking, and let's get into clicking right now with my conversation with the one, the only, Pauly fucking Long. What's going on, guys? We're here with Pauly Long, one of my favorite people in the entire world. And I know that I say that about every guest, but this time I actually mean it. Pauly Long, welcome to the show. Happy to have you on.
What is up, brother? Man, I've been like sitting here for the last 5 minutes. I'm hyped up, dude. I'm fired up right now. Your intro is badass, dude. I'm ready to punch a fucking hole in the wall.
Hey, man, that's it, bro. That's what I like to do, bro. I like to bring that energy, man, because that always brings a fire conversation, man. But, dude, thank you so much for agreeing to come on the podcast, man. As I said in the intro, bro, I really enjoy your content, man. Very fun, very enjoyable. And, one of the things that I like is, like, when I see – because I feel like there's a lot of like people out there just like to fuck with people, like troll people online and that sort of shit when people are live and that. And it's happened before to me, but I love the way that you handle it because it's like, yeah, man, I eat raw chicken. Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, all right, whatever, dude. Like, the way that you handle it is like so cool. And I think a lot of people can take a huge page out of your book on that sense, man, because I really admire that.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, it's crazy the amount of hate I get, man. It's vicious, especially like you said when I go live on TikTok or when there's like a new article about me on Google. It's the comments on it are just always they go pretty far, man. But I guess that's what comes with the territory. I'm going against the grain, so I guess people just don't like that for the most part. Of course, that's the world we live in. But what are you going to do? You either let it eat you up and swallow you whole, or you just laugh at it and say, go fuck yourself, whatever. So I choose the second choice.
Well, you know what, and for the most part, it's funny. Like I remember the first time I ever got something like that, and it was just like, man, I don't know who. And my response was, I don't know who you are, but you know who I am, and you watch everything I do. So, bitch, you're a fan. So just stay in your lane. You know what I mean? Like, back the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care what you have to say.
I say that a lot too. Like to the people hating, and sometimes I'll just be like, "Hey, thanks for being such a good fan." With all these comments you're leaving me,
But it's interesting though, because I feel like when we sort of like live in this world of social media and growing, we're into a society where like we now have technology at our fingertips. I mean, we had to have the knowledge of the world in our pocket the entire time that we live our lives, which is great in a certain sense, but it's also like, man, like how damaging to a society has it been now? Like when you go to a shopping center and you see like a bunch of people just sitting around, just staring at their phones instead of like communicating with each other on a more deeper level. I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. Obviously, right? I mean, technology is the way of the world, and it's going to be probably the destruction of it as well. So it's especially with AI coming out now. I mean, as soon as I learned about Chat GPT, I was like, we're fucked. Like we're fucked. Like, this is the beginning of the end, man. I mean, it's like I feel like there's a lot of prophecies that talk about this too, and there's a lot of foreshadows and predictions about the robots taking over and all that. But yeah, I mean, hey, what are you gonna do? I guess we got to have fun while we're here, right? But
100%, man.
It definitely is a double-edged sword because it's a hard spot for me because if I didn't rely on social media, and I don't want to say rely because hey man, I'm the type of person that if Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and every other platform shut down tomorrow, I'll start right over and build something new. But right now I am utilizing. I don't want to say rely, but I am heavily utilizing social media to spread my message, to impact others, to make money, to support my family and just grow and do a ton of shit. And it's like having a credible personal brand is so important in this day and age. And it's gotten me many opportunities that I would not have ever gotten without it. And now my wife just started going viral on TikTok as well. So she, her and I are doing the Indonesian food. She's Indonesian, so we're doing her food, and all the Indonesian people are just blowing her stuff up right now. She gained like 30,000 followers in like a week. Like it's ridiculous. So yeah, so
is that just from like cross promoting with you and going live with you?
Yeah, because people love seeing like my reactions as a white guy eating the Indonesian spicy food. So all the Indonesian people are like, because white people are called bule in Indonesia, so they're like bule, spicy food, whatever. And it's so they love her, and then they just love me acting like an idiot, of course. And it's a very good combination, the two of us. So yeah, we've been growing her stuff, and obviously, you drop my name and mention what I'm doing on social media to your listeners already in the intro, and it's been a very big part of my life, man. So it's like I love it and hate it because it's like if I could just fuck off from it, I would, but then I'll lose a lot of my abilities to do the things that I'm doing. So you just gotta maintain that balance and not let it overconsume you and be aware of it. There's definitely times where I catch myself scrolling, but I'm so much more aware of it now than I used to be. Especially in the last like 6 months, it's been like one of my biggest intentions has been to stop getting sucked into it so much, and I'll notice it, and then if I catch myself, I signed a contract with myself, man, like a mental contract that if I catch myself scrolling, I put the phone down and I do a lap around my house and then like it just like gets me like refocused.
Breaks that cycle, man. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
It's so hard. It's so hard to go.
It's a dopamine hitter, you know, and like every fucking human in the world, their dopamine receptors are so messed up right now from the phones and TikTok, and then, you know, as soon as TikTok came out, then Instagram Reels, they made the Reels, and then YouTube made the Shorts, and so now we have all this short form content, just quick, dopamine hit. Everyone's freaking addicted to vape, and you know, everyone's eating seed oils and processed foods left and right. And I'm not perfect. I eat some junk here and there too, but you know, it's just there's so many vices, man, and technology's a big one. So yeah, you gotta be intentional about it for sure, and gotta call yourself out when you need to take a break.
Oh man, like I find myself getting caught like in the scrolls, but it'll be like the most random times, like when you like, I'm really tired, I'm just going to go to bed, and I'll be laying in bed for like
it's always 10, at night. Damn it,
right? Yeah, that's like 10
fucking night.
And I'm like, I'm going to post something about the podcast, whatever, like, you know what I mean, to promote shit, and I'll do the post, and then I'm like, let's see what's going on Instagram, let's see what's going on Twitter, whatever, and then I'm like, next thing you know, 2 hours later, and it's like fucking midnight. Like, what the fuck, dude? You know what I mean? Yeah.
It does happen. And believe me, I stick to my rule too. So if I catch myself at midnight doing it, I fucking get up and walk around my house at midnight.
That's dedication though to the contract.
You have to. You got to reset, man. You got to reset and reboot when necessary.
Dude, I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to steal that trick from you.
Do it. It helps.
100%, dude. But like, when did you decide to start doing like this sort of like, I don't want to say diet, it's because I feel like what you have here is more of a lifestyle. But when did you really decide to sort of start with this lifestyle, this sort of eating plan, you know, raw meats? You know, when did that start for you?
Yep. So I'll give you like my like 18-month recap, because that's about when it started. But it was like the end of 2021. And I heard you mention Liver King in the intro. And so he was the first guy I ever saw doing anything like this, because he went viral in the end of 2021. And the video that blew up was him eating a raw testicle, a big, huge raw testicle, fully grown bull one. And so I said, you know, that got posted on like a ton, like World Stars where I saw it, but it just blew up. And so when I saw that, I followed him, and, you know, I was just curious of what he was doing. And then I found his buddy, Carnivore MD, who's really big now too. And then I found another guy, Carnivore Aurelius, who's pretty big too. Saw the raw meat experiment. He's a funny guy. So I found like a few of these guys, man. I just started paying attention and listening. And I liked what I heard. And I myself have digestion issues for a long time, because my diet was so fucked up as a kid. I used to just eat junk food every day. And so I was like, you know what, let me give it a try. So it was about January 2022 last year, about the start of last year. I started eating like a lot of steak, eggs, bone marrow, liver is like the main stuff I started with. Yeah. And I did that for like a couple of months. And then there was like a month in 2022 where my girl and I, we had to find a new place. So we're looking at new villas, and it was like a month of hell just driving around, couldn't find a place, And while we were doing that, I just got out of it and started eating on the go, because we were driving around all day. So I was eating at random cafes, random food, whatever. And I felt like shit for a month. And I'd only been doing a lot of like the steak, eggs, bone marrow, meat, protein, you know, not pretty much like stopped eating vegetables. I was only doing that for like 2 months. And then when I stopped for a month, I just felt like garbage. And so when we got our new place and I moved back in, or I moved in our new place and I got back on the routine, I was like more motivated than ever. And so in April, this is April last year now, we moved in our new place, and I'm like, all right, I'm getting back on like steak, eggs, bone marrow. And I found like a couple different suppliers out here that I was ordering stuff from. And then we know an Indonesian woman out here. She was our nanny for a little bit before we got a new nanny. And she knew I was looking for a lot of these like crazy like testicles and brains and like whatever, because she knew I was looking for it. I was like, hey, if you know anyone, because she's like a local, she's like a Balinese woman. Like, if you know anyone that has stuff, let me know. So anyway, it hits me up one day in April, and was like, hey, I found the goat testicles. Do you want them? And I was like, yeah, why not? Like let's try it out. It'll be something fun to post on my Instagram story for my friends to see, whatever. And yeah, dude. So I got the goat testicles first, and at first I just posted on my Instagram story. Everyone's freaking out. Ate them raw. So the first time I ever did it, I just went right into it. I was just like, yep, raw testicle. Like, didn't even bother with cook. I didn't even like question it. I was just like, chop, open, slice, bite.
Right in.
Like,
yeah, wow.
I went right in, bro. I didn't hesitate at all. And it wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't good, but it wasn't bad. It's not like this is like a tasty steak right now or like a delicious cheeseburger, but it was doable. Like I was fine. So a few days later, I hadn't really been doing anything with my TikTok. I grew my TikTok to like 200K, but over like 3 years and kind of just random shit. Like I would go viral for like a random video. I never had a niche. I had a small niche. I went viral in Indonesia a few times back in 2021. Other than that, and that was for like a 3-month period. Other than that, it was like random stuff. So anyway, I was at 200K in April last year. And I posted this TikTok of me doing like the first ever testicle time. I was like, who wants testicle? And, I was showing them how to cut it open. And I took a bite raw. And I hadn't really been doing anything at that time. So my views were shit. I was getting, 5,000 views video, whatever. Posted that, woke up the next morning, it was at like 65K or something. So I was like, holy shit, that's massive. And by the end of the week, it was over 1 million. And then it kept going. And so I was like, let me post again. And so I did like another carnivore video, and I started doing like one a day. And it's just like just completely took off. And I have not looked back since, man. I was at 209,000 followers that day. This is April 18th. I'll never forget that date because it was just like monumental. And April 18th, 2022. And by New Year's Eve, and it's crazy too, because it was by July, I was steadily gaining an average of 100,000 followers a month. And I was like, yo, I honestly think I'm gonna hit 1 million. And I was doing the math, and I was like, I actually think I might hit this like right around either like New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. And so I was like, I'm setting it a goal for myself. I want to hit it by New Year's Eve. And so like it kept going. And by like September, I was still like right on the money to like hit it. And I was like, damn, this is getting so close. Sure enough, fast forward, it was a New Year's Eve. And I actually it was the 30th, and I was still like 10K followers off. I was like, fuck, I'll probably hit it on like January 2nd or whatever. Yeah. I posted the video on the 30th. It went viral as fuck overnight and had like 8 million views. And I gained like 8,000 followers overnight. And then by like, it was like around like 3 p.m. I hit 1 million on New Year's Eve. So I hit that mark with like 9 hours to go in the whole year. And man, the rest is history. I'm at 1.3 million now. It kind of just became like my thing, and like I said, I'm not perfect. I do cheat sometimes.
Of course.
My pregnant wife loves gelato, and so sometimes I'm a piece of shit and I eat it with her. But
you're a bad man. You're a bad man.
I know. And it's funny too, because like I'm like the raw guy. So like anytime I eat something cooked, like my followers are like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, dude, I never said I don't eat cooked food. Like chill, But it's just a matter of like, why what motivated me to do a lot. It's not just about the followers and everything, because I have like, what are followers for if you're not doing anything with them, right? If you're not inspiring and impacting and making money and living a good life, it's like, what are they for, right? And that's what everyone's always like, oh, like you do all this for clout. And I'm just like, oh my God, like shut the fuck up. You're so uneducated, right? Because I'm a huge on inspiring and impacting and empowering people. I myself, got myself out of the corporate world and became self-sufficient. And so I want to help other people do that, because it was a huge turning point for my life. And so I figured what I'm going to do is I'm kind of going to use this shock value of me eating crazy foods to, number one, build a platform. Number two, show people that what they think is impossible or will make me sick or will kill me is not. And number three, be able to, create something beautiful from it. So I made my brand called Fevry, and it's in the very, very, very beginning stages right now. But my mission, my slogan is impulsive towards impossible, because that's essentially what happened. I was very impulsive and say, yeah, screw it. I just ate a raw nut and it changed my whole life. And if you would have told me eating raw testicles was okay, even like 2 years ago, I'd have been like, you're insane. You're going to get sick and die. And now it's like, I've eaten everything raw. Like literally, I can't, it's hard to think of things that I haven't tried raw. I've eaten so many different raw meats, and I've like never had an issue. And I've gotten food poisoning a few times in the last couple of years, and it's always been from eating at like fucked up restaurants.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, that's like all of a sudden now I'm the testicle king. People call me the testicle king, and I'm getting all these opportunities. And I even had a TV station, a very, very, very major TV station, reach out to me this year. And I can't say who, but we'll see where that goes. But it's just crazy, you know. And the longevity of this and the plan for this is just, once again, you know, I'm doing it. I enjoy it. I feel good when I do it. Now, do I enjoy eating raw kidney as much as I do, like I said, you know, a perfectly cooked rare Wagyu steak? Like, no, obviously not. But I firmly believe that it's extremely healthy. I feel the benefits when I eat this stuff. The main ones I eat are testicle, a little bit of liver, a little bit of heart, but mainly like testicle is like my main organ that I eat. And then I eat a lot of steak, and then whatever, chicken, salmon, seafood, you know, stuff on the side. But yeah, dude, that's like all from that liver. I feel like the Liver King video is what like sparked my interest.
Yeah. But like eating a raw testicle though, like,
yeah, bro.
Eating that for the first time, like, what was, like you said, it wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't like the worst thing, and you're able to sort of like get it down. But like, what did it taste like for you? Like, was it like, did you have this mindset going, this is going to be the most disgusting fucking piece of shit that I've ever eaten in my life? And when you did it, you're like, holy shit. Like, is there anything you can compare it to?
No, so I honestly, like, I didn't expect it to be that bad, because I'm just a savage, bro. Like I'm just I'm not normal. Like I have a really like, I don't know. Like I don't mind food. Like I can eat, you know what it is? I used to be super heavy into fitness. Not that I'm not. Like I love exercise and I work out, you know, 5 to 6 days a week. And I've been doing it since I was, you know, 19 years old. But when I was like, I used to work at the gym, and I was like a meal prepper type of guy, like everything. Yeah. And man, I used to choke down freaking dry ass chicken, reheated microwave rice, and like mustard. And like I'm telling you, like when you train yourself to eat like that, and like I'm like quick eating on the job, like at the gym, I'm like finishing training a client, run to my desk, wolf down like the shittiest fucking, like, you know, dry ground beef, ground turkey, you know, a little bit of seasonings, no good sauces, because I was all about the calories, dude. And like when you do that for so long, you can literally like eat anything at this point, you know. Like, I don't get like, because I really would like choke these meals down. So now it's like, when for me too, when I see someone else do something, that tells me that it's possible.
Yeah.
Big inspiration for me to inspire other people as well. Because if I can show people that, hey, look, what I'm doing is possible. It's very possible. It's not going to make you sick, and it could actually make you really healthy if you do it, if you get it from the right places and the right people, and you do it the right way. You know, if this is happening like this, what else can you do that you might think is impossible? That's my motivation, man. That's why I made my brand. Be impulsive towards impossible. Like, do the things that they tell us, because most of the time there's a lot of shit in this world that we can do as humans that we have been told we can't or shouldn't do. That's my drive, bro. That's my drive, because fuck the system that we live in, and fuck the fucking matrix in the world that we're stuck in, man. It's all run by bad people and telling us a bunch of shit that's not true. And that's my motivation. I'm trying to help as many people become aware of that. And so like eating a testicle, I took the bite and I was just like, yeah, whatever, you know, like it tastes earthy. It tastes gamey. It tastes a little bit musty. Like it's weird, dude. I've been asked this so many times. What's a testicle taste like? And I've never been able to give a good answer because it's like it's very unique. I'll tell you this much. Goat testicle is the strongest flavor. Calf bull testicles and lamb testicles, the flavor is not as pungent. But anything goat is, and this is how I've learned this because I've had goat testicle, goat heart, goat liver, goat brain, goat milk, goat butter, goat cheese. I've had goat everything, and anytime it's goat, even just regular old goat meat, goat muscle meat, it's always stronger. It's more potent, right? So if you eat a goat testicle, it's got a kick to it. It's a very, very, very strong, unique flavor. But yeah, I don't know, dude. I'm like, yeah, it tastes like testosterone. I don't fucking know how to describe it, you know?
Yeah, man. It's funny because like there seems to be like a lot of people doing the carnivore style, lifestyle and diet and eating plan. Some people are doing like, cheeseburger patties and all this other shit. You know what I mean? And all these different things. And the one question that I always wonder is like, man, like, do you get like how do you get your fiber and like the whole digestive system as a whole? Like, is there any effects to that?
Yes. Yeah. So I tried going strict carnivore, no carbs. I did it for like probably 2 weeks, and it's for not to get into detail, but I got backed up, man. Like it was bad, and I was like freaking passing rocks, dude. So I was like, this is definitely not sustainable. So what I started doing is introducing back in fruits. And now I eat fruits, and I will eat some rice here and there. What else do I eat? I mean, if I'm not eating my wife's bullshit Indonesian food that I got to eat for her TikTok, right? Because then I'm eating some noodles and shit. But I mean, that's like, I'll take like a bite or two and that's it, right?
Yeah.
But for my diet, yeah, I'll eat a little bit of rice here and there. But once again, too, like I do cheat sometimes. So if we cheat, it's typically like burgers, sushi, or like Indian food is like our 3 favorite things. So I'll get a big carb up there. But I tried going strict, no carbs, and I didn't feel good. I didn't feel good on it. Yeah, so I think there's a huge thing about like what's with the no vegetables. I'm learning as I go still. I mean, it's been over a year, but I feel like I'm still experimenting. I'm still learning. There's definitely certain vegetables that I don't really touch anymore. I don't really eat like spinach, broccoli, anything like that. But I do like some of the fresh ones. Like cucumbers, I like. Some people say cucumbers are a fruit. I'm not sure what the hell to think of that, but like sometimes cucumbers, sometimes tomatoes. But I feel like mainly fruit. I do eat fruit almost every day. I eat some fruit, whether it's a little bit, nothing much, but banana, mango, orange. Yeah, and it's great. It's good fiber. Fruit is awesome fiber. And I feel really good when I eat a little bit of it. So yeah, I mean, I've been good once again. It was just trying to cut out all the carbs that became difficult. Some people do it. I don't know. I also like.
I find when people cut out carbs, like every person I've met, like friends, that say, "Yeah, I cut out carbs out of my diet." It's like, yeah, it's only so sustainable you can do that. It's like when people say, "Yeah, I cut out bread from my diet." It's like, okay, but like. You know what I mean? Like, so that's one of those things that is like, is that really sustainable long term for some people?
There's a couple guys I know that have been doing it for a while. The one is Sean Baker. He's pretty big. Like a lot of people know him. He's like the leader of the carnivore community, Dr. Sean Baker. And he's been strict carnivore, no carbs for I think like 6-7 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's like strong, and he's like I think he's in his like 50s, and he's like pretty strong and stuff. But I mean, yeah, I don't know, man. Once again, you got to experiment. And for me too, like I'm not dialed in enough in terms of like I'm still eating like random shit here and there to see like a full effect of if I were to be strict, what would happen. But for me, it's like I'm cool with balance, and I have a great balance of everything, and I'm very, very intentional about what I eat, And if I do, like I said, if I do eat some bullshit, like if we go on a cheat meal, I'm eating super clean the next day. I'm working out hard. I'm cleansing my system, and I'm right back on. I don't like to go consecutive periods because then you just start going down from there.
100%.
So
Downward slope.
Yeah, man.
So, man, living in Bali, bro, like when did like you as an American decide I'm going to pack up and move to Bali?
Yep. I'll try to keep this story short and sweet, but I was working, like I told you, I worked at the gym for a while, LA Fitness in America, and worked for them for 4 years. I finally quit back in 2019. I joined a real estate team, got my real estate license, did that for a few months, hated that too. Started networking with people on Instagram, met a couple guys out I'm from the Philadelphia area on the East Coast of America, met a couple guys out on the West Coast in Arizona, a couple of these little, entrepreneur 22-year-olds or whatever. The one was like, yeah, I'll fly you out as part of my mentorship and you can meet my team. And I was like, all right, dude, like, fuck it. I'm doing this so I can meet people. Got out there, met a bunch of people, ended up going home, packing my car and moving out there. And then I met, my guy, Colin, pretty much like my best friend now. We met back in that office in Arizona doing the same thing with the same people. We left them after a month because we realized they were like scammers, and we started doing our own thing. And then he was like, yo, let's go abroad somewhere. Let's travel. And I was just kind of, at that point, I was like down for whatever. And so we found Bali and we booked a trip. I got out here the first time ever was January 2020. So a little over 3 years ago. And I just came as a tourist, and we booked it for a month, and we just explored, had a blast, worked, met people, and I fell in love with it. And he was like, all right, I'm going back. And I was like, fuck it, I'm staying, man. And so I flew back then. This was right before COVID hit. So they were just doing, you get like a 30-day visa on arrival. And then you just, after 30 days, on the 30th day, you fly out and then you could like fly back in. But for me, I was like, hey, I'm already over here. I'm going to go explore. So I flew to like Singapore for a weekend, and then I came back, and then I stayed another month. And then after the next month, I flew to Philippines for a weekend. Well, that was March 15th. COVID hit. I got stuck in Philippines. Bali shut down. I couldn't get back in. And I had all my shit still in Bali at a friend's villa. So I was like, I got to get back here at some point, but I don't know when that's going to be. So I bounced around for a while throughout 2020. And then Bali opened back up in like November. So I got out here in December 2020. And just at that point, I was like, yeah, I'm staying. This is my place. And then it was like probably 2 weeks after I got here. I met my wife, and so obviously that panned out to be something beautiful. And now we got our almost 1 year old, and she's pregnant with our second, and here we are. So, thanks, bro. Yeah, so it's been a crazy past couple of years, and so much change. And I went from being this guy, living in Pennsylvania, the gym guy, to being this testicle eating, marrying Indonesian woman living in Bali. Yeah, it's just crazy. Life is crazy,
Hey, man, you live in the dream, brother. Like, it's it's amazing. But like, how do you find? Obviously, you fell in love with the Bali culture and the community there. Was there any culture shock for you, like going over there from the United States?
Major, bro. Yeah. And in the best way, it's just, dude, first of all, not only was it my first time in Bali, that was my first time overseas. I had never been overseas before. So I've still never been to Europe or Africa or Australia.
Hey, man, we're not far from Bali, brother.
I got a lot to cover. I mean, obviously we're doing the family thing right now, and I'm building my business. So I'm kind of just in monk mode for like the next year or two. But man, in the next couple of years, I'm going to take a big long vacation and go all over the world. But yeah, that was my first time overseas completely. And Bali is just such a crazy place to go. Like, if that's your first time overseas, it's so different here. I mean, you get here and right away you feel the energy right away. The energy in Bali is one of a kind, man. It's so different. They call it the island of the gods, and That's like literally the name of Bali, right? And yeah, the energy is just, it's abundant. You can feel it. Everything is very free and open. It's very, it's not like closed and compressed, and there's not a lot of like tall, there's no skyscraper buildings or anything like that. And most like 95% of people or more drive scooters and bikes. So it's just like a lot of people driving scooters and bikes instead of like cars everywhere. And the roads are kind of like half paved in some places and half not. And like, especially when you get to like the popular areas that aren't the ones that aren't like local areas where like all the Balinese people live, but like places like Canggu and like the popular foreigner areas. I mean, it's so gentrified at this point now, and even in the past 3 years too, it's gotten like crazy. Like it's just popping right now, man. Real estate investors are everywhere, blowing it up with new cafes, restaurants, buildings, stores, villas, everything. But yeah, it's just it's like an abundance of like cafes, and it's all like open air. You sit outside, you can like walk around with your shirt off, and it's just like, it's just so different, man. Like you just get here. So when I got here, I was already on a high because like I quit my job and I drove across the United States with like no income and like started making money on Instagram. And so I was already on this like high, like 4 months into entrepreneurship, doing my thing, and in those 4 months after I moved to Arizona, my buddy Colin and I, we went to Vegas, we went to LA, we went to Mexico. Like we were already bouncing around for those 4 months.
Yeah, you were going to Europe, yeah.
I was already just like, fuck yeah, let's go. And when I got to Bali, it was just like beach clubs and you go get lunch and you get like this nice lunch and it's like $4 and it's just like, it's crazy, man. Like it's a whole different vibe here. So it was a huge culture shock. And what's cool too is that everything is intertwined. And what I mean by that is you have the local people and you have local homes, like people like with their homes like right in the most expensive area as well. So it's like you have luxury villas right next to small local homes and huts and shops and little cheap laundry shops and waterungs are like small little grills, local grills. You can go and get like Indonesian noodles and rice and whatever on the side of it. It's like street food almost, right?
Yeah.
Like you have all this stuff like mixed in with the gentrification of the new modern Americanized, westernized, vibe. And it's cool, man. Cause it's like, that's what I like about it. I like that I can still enjoy my luxury, whatever, Americanized stuff when I want it. And I can still enjoy the Balinese feel. It's all at the same time. And that's a really cool thing.
Thailand's very similar as well. Like I've been to Thailand a bunch, I've been to Bali a bunch. Very, very similar way. It's like you can get that sense of like real traditional, I don't want to say old school, but more like that more simplified lifestyle. And then you can also get in the next corner,
literally
like,
a luxury beach club right across the street. Yeah, it's cool, man. It's cool.
It's crazy, man. But for yourself though, man, like I gotta ask, I did see a couple of videos of you it seemed like throwing a little bit of shade or like maybe going a little bit at the Liver King or the Testosterone King, whatever he wants to call himself these days. Man, like, so what's the beef? No pun intended.
Yeah, bro. So it's funny because I actually supported him for the longest time. And while I was building my following, a lot of my followers were very loyal to me. They were very just like all about me. And so a lot of them, they almost created a beef at first. And I was like, no, guys, like Liver King's cool. Like he's spreading a great message, which he is. Like he's changed many, many lives. He's helped tons of people get healthy, and you can't deny that. And that I have so much respect for, because he made a major, major impact in the world. And you can't hate on that. Right. Obviously the steroid, of course, lying about the steroids, like could have gone about that different. So at first, when that whole thing came out, everyone came running to me. What do you think about Liver King? What do you, because it's like Testicle King and Liver King. Like, you know, they all want to see us. They all want to see us collab. And then like all my loyal fans were like, you know, fuck Liver King. Testicle King is, you know, all the way. And I was just like, you know, like there's no need for a beef, guys. Like I'd rather collab with him. I actually got followed by his company page, The Fittest Ever. I reached out to them, started talking to them. They connected me with one of the managers of it. I told him to hit Liver King and his team up. He did. They denied it, and that was it. So they denied my collab. This was back in like October or some shit, I forget. And and that was right around the time that that was like maybe a month after the whole steroid thing happened. And so I released a video about it on TikTok back when it happened, and basically the summary of what I said was like, hey, probably shouldn't have done that, but I do understand it because we live in a world where everyone's like so on to the next thing, and they also need like a ridiculous like proof of evidence that something works in order to believe in it. Like I think taking beef organ supplements is a great idea. I think eating them is better, but most people don't want to eat fucking raw liver, and I get that. So like it's better to take beef organ supplements than to not take them. Like you're not going to not benefit from them. Are they going to make you look like Liver King? Absolutely fucking not. But I don't think he ever said that either. I think he just said, hey, take these to live your most dominant life. And it's like, there's truth to that. So basically, like, I understand why he did what he did because it's like he understands the world we live in, that people are just fucking ridiculous. And if he wasn't just completely juiced out of his mind looking ridiculous, he wouldn't have changed as many lives. So it's like, I get it. Probably not the best way to go about it, but I get it. Here's where everything turned. So I've been the Testicle King for a while. The people gave me that name, not myself, which first of all, the Liver King gave himself that name. Guy's a fucking self-entitled douchebag, okay? So he gave himself that name. People gave me the name Testicle King. I rolled with it. You know, I'm for the people. I actually got that on my hand too. Dla Ludzi, Polish. But after a few months or whatever, this was probably like, what was it, like a month or 2 months ago? Yeah. He started doing the testicles like a ton, because now he's like, oh, I'm off steroids, so I'm going to start eating extra testicles to keep my testosterone up. And then he started doing this testicle fast where he only ate testicles for like a few days. And he posted on his story and posted a video, and he said, hey, I don't care what anyone says, but you can call me whatever you want, but for the next week, I'm the Testicle King. And I know for a fact he knows me. I know he does. I know he does at this point, because his team, I had them, like, they reached out. I have the email proof saying that this guy did talk to his team and they declined it. And I've been challenging him for like a liver eating contest or like just something fun, like, which I was trying to do fun content with him. Like it was never like a let's fucking hate each other content. Let's come together, man, and make some cool content. Testicle King, Liver King, that would be great. And then a lot of my followers would probably end up, you know, liking him again but he doesn't, I don't know, whatever. So called himself the Testicle King. Bro, if you literally search the Testicle King on Google, I come up. And so I made a video about that, about him calling himself Testicle King, and showed the Google search. And so everyone was laughing at that. But
yeah, that's what I saw, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, dude, I don't know. Obviously, like having beef over who's the Testicle King is like totally goofy, and it's not like actually get angry at, you know. But I just know, like, what bothered me was, I'm like, bro, I know you know who I am. I know he does, because his team has definitely seen me. They've definitely talked about me at some point, because I'm blowing up. I'm all over the internet. I've had like tons of articles published about me. Like, people know who I am, and so when he said that, like, I know he's like trying to steal my shit. So at that point, I was like, you know what, bro? Like, go fuck yourself, because I offered to collab with you. I tried to make good with you. Your team declined me. You declined me because you're probably like too scared that I'm gonna steal some of your limelight. And then he calls himself my name. And I think he's got like short man syndrome. He's literally said it before. He's got short man syndrome. He wants to feel bigger. So he wants to be the king of everything. And so after that whole thing happened, man, I started paying a lot closer attention to his content, because I study his shit because he's successful. So I want to learn from it. 100%. I started paying more attention to his content. You know, like his marketing technique right now is always got to have my testicle, heart, and liver, bone marrow, whatever, with dinner, you know, to make yourself a king. And if you're not man enough to do it, get yourself a bottle of King. And then he hits his supplement bottle.
Yeah.
And like, I don't think people think about how fucking condescending that is and how manipulative that is. Like, bro, these are your fans who look up to you and want to feel masculine, and you're telling them, hey, you gotta be your best self, be dominant, be a king. But you're selling them a product by telling them that they're a fucking pussy. If they're too much of a fucking pussy to eat it, they should buy your product. Shut the fuck up. You know, like, dude, ever since, and I started noticing that, and then I started noticing other things, man. Like the self-absorbency. At first, I thought it was like kind of he was just playing a character and playing a joke, but I genuinely think he's like that's just like how he is, because he's like he's like a little like 5'6" fucking, you know, short guy. So he's like he has to feel big. And I hate that. I don't like that kind of shit. Because me, I'm the opposite. I'm a tall guy, so maybe I just don't have that problem. I don't know. But like, I like to empower people, man. Like I'm not gonna sit here, and I want to launch my own supplement, man. You know, I want to launch my own testicle supplement. That's the goal for me. But I'm never gonna be like, hey, if you're a fucking pussy and you're you know, maybe your dick doesn't work and your girl hates you, so buy my supplement. Like, I'm not gonna you know what I mean?
Before you kill yourself, take my supplement.
If you're contemplating suicide, get my fucking supplement, you bitch. Right? Like, you know, like,
1995 extra. Get the T-shirt, and you could be a king.
Yeah, you get it. So I don't know, bro. I really felt an energy shift in him. For the past like 6 months, and then the whole testicle king thing, and it just the way he like speaks, man. I'm just kind of like, just fuck this guy, right? So I did everything I could to back him up, but it's just like the arrogance and the manipulation towards his followers to buy his shit. I'm not about that. I don't like it. I don't like that shit, you know, because I'm a very transparent, honest type of guy. And, I'm very open about everything, and you know, I share what's happening in my life, and so it's like I sell with integrity, and obviously it's the opposite for you know.
Well, look, you know, me, like, I mean, for me personally, like, I never make judgment decisions based on what I see of people online, because I always think that, okay, this could be a gimmick, this could be a whatever. Like, it's you know, I don't know this person to make a thing. My only thing with Liver King is when I saw her and he was like living this lifestyle, and like, yeah, he's jacked and he's like 40, 50-year-old or whatever it is. Yeah. I'm 41, right? I work a full-time job. I'm a father of 3. You know what I mean? Like, I would be lucky to get to the gym 3 to 4 times a week. Lucky if I'm able to do that shit, right? Whereas, like, that's kind of what people that age group are kind of in that boat, where it's like when you got young kids or whatever it is, no one's walking around looking like Liver King. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's more dudes walking around looking like you, where it's like, where yours story is more like, I'm feeling more healthier because of this diet that I'm eating. This is the benefits that I'm getting. Whereas, like, Liver King to me just felt more of a gimmick and more of just like,
he's sold with the image. He's sold with the image rather than the transparency. And that, exactly, bro. Yeah, that's what I don't like. You know what's funny about that? And by the way, too, like, I don't want to sit here and make it feel like we're gossiping. I'm just sharing.
No, we're just having conversation.
But the other thing I will say is that I got a ton of health issues, but I've had them for a long time. So like everyone thinks that like this diet is like ruining me, which is funny, but it's like making me better. But I'm already messed up because of eating all the junk food when I was a kid. Well, because of that, my spine, my back, I'm really tall. I'm 6'4". And I ate like shit, and I lifted like an asshole in my early 20s and fucked my back up, and then it just got really bad. So I have like double S curve scoliosis, rotational. I got muscle atrophy. Yeah, like my whole left body, like part of each muscle group, my pec, my shoulder, my bicep, my tricep, my leg, even like my obliques, my back is like all atrophied. So my body doesn't work the way that it should. And when your body doesn't work like that, you don't benefit from your workouts as much because your muscles aren't completely active. Therefore, you're not burning as much fat. You're not building as much muscle. You're everything. I don't look like shit by any means.
No, not at all.
I look great compared to the average person, but I'm certainly not chiseled. And it's funny because now I think because everyone has seen Liver King, and they just see that brute ripped force of a human he is. And more power to you. Cheers. But now everyone thinks that by eating this food, like the only reason to eat testicle and heart and liver is to look like that. And it's like, bro, everyone's like missing the point. Like I'm not, I mean, I would love to look like that, but I'm not like, that's not my goal right now. I have other goals in life. And so I don't have the time to work out 2 times a day. I'll work out 5-6 days a week, but I'm not working out. I'm not doing 2 workouts a day. I'm definitely not taking steroids and human growth hormone. And I don't have $100 million business that I can reinvest into everything that I need to do that amount, put that amount of time and effort into my fitness. And so it's like, I'm good where I'm at, but people see me, and because I'm not ripped and fucking shredded, they're like, oh, they like all the time. People are like, oh, like you eating raw testicles and you have like a shitty ass mid-ass physique. And I'm like, bro, all right, guys. Like, people are ruthless, man. And it's like, dude, it's not the point of this, not everyone who eats this stuff is going to be ripped, and no one knows like about my back and like my muscle atrophies and all that. And so it's like, at some point, it's just like you said in the beginning, you commend me for being able to handle the hate. And it's like, dude, there's so much of it. And it would take me so long to try and like explain everything to people that I'm at some point, I'm just like, you know what? You're right, buddy. Like, you're right. It's all good. And then I just go back to my life because it's just social media. That's like the other thing too. Like at the end of the day, as soon as I put my phone down, I have my beautiful wife, my son, and my own family, and a beautiful villa in Bali, and that's it. That's all I need.
Yeah,
so.
You real life shit to worry about. But that's the thing. It's like the social media hate. Like you do realize, and I tell this to people all the time: the people that you're arguing with on social media, right? The people on the other end of that line. No, bro. Remember the person who used to sniff and eat glue in school? That's that motherfucker right there, bro. That bro. 100%. That's that fucker right there.
The glue guy. Yeah, bro. Especially on TikTok, it's all like kids, dude. I get kids saying like racist shit about my wife. They're like, "Oh, how much was your mail order bride?" I'm like, "What? Like, where are your parents, bro?" Like, I literally like some girl commented that one time. It's just an example. And like I clicked on her profile, and I swear to God, it was like a 9-year-old little like blonde girl, like with like a freaking Hello Kitty profile picture or something. I was just like, can you go get like an apple juice and find your mom and dad? What, you just call my wife a mail order bride? You're like 9. What's wrong with you? Yeah, dude, the generations are getting vicious. It's crazy. That's another downfall of social media too. It's teaching these kids to hate. That's like the culture right now is like a hate culture. Because you see the viral posts. Anytime you click on a viral post and you scroll through the comments, it's everyone trying to be funny. Like that's what it is. It's like because everyone wants to leave a comment in the comment section, and they want that to be the funny comment that everyone likes and comments on, so that they feel special for a moment. But in reality, that gets absolutely nothing in life.
It means nothing. Yeah.
No one gives a fuck about them anyway. They're just liking their comment, and then they're not going to get follows. But they feel that like gratitude and that happiness of being the funny person for a second. And so now we live, that's like that. It's the hate culture. Everyone's trying to make everyone else laugh and get pinned, like get their comment pinned up top as the best comment. And so everyone just sits there and just rips people apart, thinking that other people will laugh at it or catch on, or it's like, fuck, man, fuck.
That's the thing. Like, I think everyone should, like, the whole blue check mark and shit on Twitter and Instagram and shit. I think everyone should be verified on social media, because that means, like, to have a social media account, you have to fucking submit your government issue ID, bang, right there. So, like, hey, you get reported for trolling on shit and stuff like that. Then, like, online trolling, online bullying, then that can become some form of
like. We all know who you are. We can all see you.
But there could be some form of legal recourse.
Yeah.
But the only problem is with that in the law, if it was done on a mobile phone or the access to an app that sends a threatening messages on a mobile phone, there is no way of proving it was the actual person who owned the mobile phone that did it.
There's always a
Oh,
loophole.
I left my phone unlocked on at a party and I left. Like I came back and you know what I mean? Like that's the only legal loophole. But if everyone had a verification, they're going to be more weary about what the, you know what I mean? Leaving that motherfucking phone unattended.
Yeah. That's a great point. That's a great point. Damn.
Hey man, sometimes I come up with some intelligent things, man. What can I say, bro? I even surprised myself. Oh man, but dude, like as we're getting close to wrapping up here, man, like what's in the works for you now? Like, what have you got coming up that you can sort of tell our listeners here, our viewers here, what you're working on and what they can expect from you in the future?
Yeah. Long-term play is my brand, Fevry. I've got a lot planned for that, but it's just so early right now, and I don't have enough focus on it yet. But I just wanted to make the brand to have and show that I've established it for a long period of time, especially when I start doing it. So that's like you'll see more of that down the road. I'm not just a social media guy. I am a businessman. You did mention I was an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
I do a lot of business. I do business funding. So my partner and I get people approved for max limits of business credit, business lines of credit, business loans, et cetera, that they can use as an investment capital for real estate or starting a business, whatever. So that's a pretty big portion of my income and portfolio. And then obviously content creating. And other than that, I do mentorships with select people. And I've been doing that for a little while, kind of just on the side, because like I said, I really do enjoy helping people and inspiring people. And so just any kind of like side time I have, I'll do that. But I've been highly considering building that out a little more and doing like a full community, which I think is going to be my next thing. So not like a coaching program type thing, because I know that's got kind of a bad rap, and that's not really what I want to be labeled as. Just another typical like online coaching guru type. None of that bullshit. But I'd rather have like a results based community type thing, because that's ultimately what I'm doing with this diet, right? I'm doing this diet to make my life better, and so far it has. It's changed a lot in my body. I'll tell you this: when I eat the raw meats, my digestion, the best ever. My digestion and my energy. Yeah. Because raw meat is in its purest form. People think raw meat is like, you're not supposed to eat raw meat, but actually raw meat is in its purest form. It's got the most enzymes, and enzymes are what actually make your body like the best ever. Like when you have more enzymes, you're feeling the best, and your digestive system works like a charm. When you eat raw meat, it digests the fastest. You feel completely light. You feel light as air. And your energy therefore stays higher because it's easier to digest. Therefore, your metabolism doesn't have to go into overtime and make you sleepy. So I want to build a community off that, and not just about eating raw meat, of course.
Yeah,
but,
of course, yeah.
It'll be like a full kind of mentorship of diet, nutrition, business, entrepreneurship, and ultimately, like I said, my biggest goal in life was getting out of my job, man. Like that was like the only thing I was just like, how the fuck do I not work a job so I can sleep when I want and go to the gym when I want, eat when I want, and not have to report to anyone. And I accomplished that. And that was the greatest feeling ever, like at that time. And I feel like that's a huge goal for most people as well. So I'm really passionate about helping other people do that, because I was at a very, very low point in my life. Very, very low. Like, man, I went through it. I've had some rough times, and we didn't get into the nitty gritty, but I've definitely I've been at some very low lows, and I know what it's like. So I have a big part of my heart that wants to devote some time and energy to help people get out of that. So definitely keep an eye out for that. If you're listening to this right now, go to my Instagram and my TikTok, and there's definitely going to be some stuff about mentorship. I do have some clients right now who are loving it so far, loving working with me. So it's just going to get better from here on out. And I hope to have a huge, awesome community of just people crushing it in life.
That's awesome, man. You talked about you were in a low point in life at a certain point and pretty down and out. How did you get out of that? And we don't need to go to too many details if you don't want to about like what the situation was that you're in, but like how did you actually come to the realization you had to get out of it, and what did you do to get out of it?
Yeah. I've had two of those like extremely low lows in my life. And, the biggest one was when I was working at the gym. I was highly addicted to marijuana. I was so dependent on marijuana. I would drink probably 3-4 nights a week. On the weekend, on Saturday nights, I would just get blackout drunk. Sundays would always be spent on the couch, smoking all day, eating junk food all day, going into Mondays just feeling like trash. I had crippling social anxiety, which is why I smoked weed all the time. Shit, man, what else? There was just a lot. There was a lot going on, and I was depressed because I hated my job too. Right? I couldn't get it. I was stuck. I was just stuck. I had a stuck mindset. I was lazy. I didn't want to make any effort to get out of my job and do something new. I was smoking every day. I was drinking. I was just stuck, and I was around the wrong people. So first things first, I started noticing that my friends were just the wrong fucking people to be around. My group of friends. One of the most monumental turning points. It was a Sunday. It was a football Sunday. So we were all at our buddies. It was me and my roommate, and then we had our other two buddies. We would always just bounce back and forth between each other's places. So we were at our other buddies. We'd always go to our other buddies' place because they had a big screen TV for football Sunday. And so it was us four, and then the one had his girlfriend there. And so it was 5 of us. And it was a Sunday. We'd all gone out the night before. Everyone was hungover. We were all sitting there high, smoking weed all day, ordering food, whatever. And we made it through the first games, the 1 o'clock games, and then it was on to the 4 o'clock games. And I remember it was like whatever, it was like 4:30 p.m. right, like nothing. Middle of the afternoon, and I'm baked out of my mind, and I'm sitting there watching TV. And I'm so high that I'm not paying attention. And I realized all of a sudden that all I heard was the TV. And I looked over, and everyone was asleep at 4:30 in the afternoon. All 4 of them. My roommate, my other buddy, and then our other buddy and his girlfriend on the couch. And everyone was passed out. And my buddies were like this on the couch. And then my buddy and his girl were laying down on the other couch. And then I was in this chair by myself. And I looked over, and I was like, what the fuck? Like I immediately stood up and left. I didn't say bye. I just stood up and walked out. And I ordered an Uber home because I was like too high to drive. And I was just like, fuck. I ordered an Uber home, left my car there, went back to my place, and I just sat there. And I just literally probably like an hour. I just sat on my couch, didn't look at my phone, didn't move. I just waited for the high to wear off. And I was just thinking about my life. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing right now? This is not me. So that was a huge pivotal point that day. And so that started sparking interest in I got to figure out another way because I'm stuck right now. And then another pivotal point was reading. So first, my advice for the listeners, okay, is check your environment. You check your environment first. Because that ultimately you will become a product of your environment. And I was a mass-produced product of my environment at that point. I was so gone in my own shit. I had no idea what was going on. So you check your environment, you check the people you're hanging around with. Because if they're not the right people and you're just falling into the shit they're doing, you gotta part ways. So I started distancing myself from my friends. My roommate and I had a falling out. I moved back home with my parents, and then I haven't seen any of those guys since 2019. Or maybe 2018. I forget. It's been a while. Or 2018. Yeah, it was 2018. So 2018 is when I left there. And second thing was reading. You got to start filling your head with the right information. So I started following a bunch of successful entrepreneurs and shit like that on Instagram. And I found Grant Cardone. And then I ordered his book, the 10X Rule. And I read the 10X Rule. And that book gave me the biggest perspective change ever. And I was like, whoa. I was like, holy fuck, this is a whole new way of thinking about life. And then I read his other book, Be Obsessed or Be Average. And that one is even better. I was like, dude, holy shit. And then I just started going down this rabbit hole. I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and I read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And I just started doing all this personal development. Then when I'm starting to read the books and I'm starting to find out about, networking and business and how to think and how to act and how to, just do a life differently, how to be successful. I started realizing that I need to start meeting people. So first thing, check your environment, get away from the people that are weighing you down. Second thing, start reading books immediately, because that's the easiest thing that you can pick up and start doing right away. And you can do it in your own time. You can do it whenever you need to. There's no schedule for reading. You just get a good book like the 10X Rule, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich. You Are a Badass and You Are a Badass at Making Money by Jensen Sirow. Those are great. There's so many books. How to Win Friends and Influence People. The list goes on. But get a good book, read that shit. And then third, you need to start going out and meeting people. Now that you're away from the current people that fucked you up and you read books and have the right mindset, now you need to go use it and start meeting new people and change your environment and fill your environment with the right people now that you got the wrong people out. So you start going to like networking events, you start going to like, real estate seminars and network marketing events, even though network marketing is like, typically like the classic like Ponzi pyramid scheme, which in reality, everything is. Yeah. What do you think a fucking job is, right? You're working for a guy at the top of the chain as a corporation.
Exactly. Yeah.
But anyway, start going to those events, because even if you want nothing to do with what the event is about, you'll still meet some people there, and you just go and you just fucking network. And then you do the same thing on Instagram. So that's when I started building my personal brand. What's a personal brand? I just started taking pictures of myself because I didn't know what the hell to do. But I was like, hey, I see other people taking like pictures of themselves. That's not a selfie, and it's not like a picture at the bar with their friends. And they're just like going out in like cool areas and setting up a tripod or having their friend take a picture. And that's what I did. And then I started posting like decent photos of myself on my Instagram. And then that made me stand out. And then I found the guys in Arizona, and that's basically how I got to the point in Arizona. So it's step by step. But like if you're stuck, 3 things: change your environment, get rid of the 5 people that you spend the most time with, because they're the ones who are probably making you stuck. And then start reading personal development and business books so you can change your mindset, and then get the fuck out of your house and go meet people and go to places of business and networking events and start finding new opportunities, because chances are if you do that enough and you meet enough people, you're gonna have a new opportunity. And then bonus number 4, start building a personal brand on Instagram. Instagram is the modern day business card. All you have to do is post decent pictures of yourself. Once again, I personally bought a tripod, set it up, took candid photos of myself just to look different. Or you can get a friend to do it, and then just make your bio look professional, put your location and just put your name and put entrepreneur or whatever, and then get a decent profile picture and start reaching out to people. Start connecting with people. Go on entrepreneur pages like Grant Cardone, Ed Milet, Ty Lopez, Millionaire Mentor, whatever. Look at the people in their comments. Who's commenting on those accounts? Other people who are interested in that shit. Other entrepreneurs, other small business owners, whatever. Message those people. Hey, just saw you on Grant Cardone's post. Don't mean to bother you, but I'm fairly new in this whole realm of trying to, not work a job and be self-sufficient. And you look like you're crushing it. I just wanted to reach out to you and say what's up, if you don't mind. I've given you the follow. You don't have to follow me back, but I'm just gonna watch what you do. And hey, man, if you ever want to chat sometime, I am so appreciative of that. And this is what I did. I'm literally telling you what I did. This is free info, man. This is what I teach my mentees, but that's all I'm going to give you. Okay.
There you go, man. Dude, that's crazy. Like,
that's what I did, man.
Like the simplicity of being able to do it. Cause like people go all the time. It's like, oh, how do you become a social influencer? How do people do this and stuff like that? And it's like, dude, like I've got a very small following compared to what you have and other people have, man. But like I said, it was just, from my understanding, it was just consistency. But like hearing this, man, like this is like knowledge for a lot of people that people can, and myself included, that can take away and learn from this. I feel like
it is consistency. You have to be consistent with everything you do to see a good result, right? But what are you being consistent with? Like you said, yeah. And man, I'm telling you, if you step by step do what I say, get out of your current environment, read some good books, change your mindset, go meet new people, and build yourself a personal brand. Especially too, you should actually change the order of that. Build a personal brand first and then go meet people. Because when you're at a networking event, what are you going to try to do? You know, you don't want to go around asking for people's numbers because you don't know them that well, but at least connect with them on Instagram, right? Same thing like trying to get a girl, you know, it's a lot easier to say, hey, what's your Instagram than, hey, give me your number. She's going to be more open to that. Well, same with people. People are more open to giving their Instagram than they are giving their personal cell phone number to someone they just met, you know.
100%, yeah.
Instagram, then you can see credibility. And if you have a really nice Instagram, you got cool photos of yourself, you have the location up in each photo so people could see like where you're from. And it's just like transparency, you know. And then when they see that transparency and then, you know, they watch your story and you're posting stuff, you know, about whatever business and a little bit of lifestyle, maybe something funny, and you're well-rounded, they're going to be like, okay, cool. This guy's, you know, he's doing something, right? And then you start chatting and you never know. You're one connection away from changing your whole life. Remember that. There
you go, man. That's words to live by, man. But it is that time of the show, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for 60 Seconds with Piers. If this is your first time tuning in, how this is going to work, I've got a bunch of questions. I'm going to fire off at Mr. Pauly Long, and he's got 60 seconds to answer as many of these bitches as he can. Now, Pauly, are you ready for me to start the clock?
Let's go.
All right. What is your most embarrassing story from school?
I went streaking through the quad in a thong that we found in a washing machine.
How old were you when you found out about Santa Claus?
7 or 8.
If you came with a warning label, what would it say?
Can be an asshole sometimes, but very nice.
What is something that you enjoy that you're embarrassed to admit that you like? Kind of like a guilty pleasure.
I'm a carnivore guy, but I love ice cream, and that's why I'm a piece of shit sometimes.
What chore do you hate doing the most?
Chore? Dishes, because I was the dishes doer in my household for years, and I have trauma from it.
What is the last book you read?
Oh, shit. Oh, my God, I can't remember. Extreme Ownership. Extreme Ownership. I forget. Oh, by the Marines guys. I can't remember their names. It's a good one.
Favorite song to sing at karaoke?
Oh, Jesus, God. I'm not a karaoke guy. I think the last time I did karaoke, it was I did Fancy by Drake. Oh, you fancy, huh?
What is the shittest gift you have ever given someone?
Oh, man. I don't know. I would just say a gift card. Don't give people gift cards. Just don't get them anything at all. You know, why not? Fuck gift cards.
And last one, in 5 minutes time, you're being shipped to outer space. What 2 personal belongings do you take with you, excluding human beings?
Oh, wow. That's a tough one. You got me there. I mean, if there's Wi-Fi, I'm taking a phone, but I don't think there is. I don't know, man. Geez. Dude, I'm stumped with that one. You put me on the spot. That's a tough one. I really don't know. Maybe a camera. I would take a camera because I would vlog it just in case anyone ever found it. And honestly, that I feel like. And hey, how about these blue light blocking glasses? There you go. At least we're at my circadian rhythm while I'm out there.
That has been 60 Seconds with Piers with Pauly Long. I feel like this has been a pretty cool conversation, man. I feel like this hour could have definitely gone on for 2 to 3 hours, man. And if you're down, I definitely want to do a part 2 with you sometime down the track if you're open to that, man, because I think this conversation has been pretty dope.
Sure, man. I appreciate that. I hope it was. I hope your listeners enjoyed it. And yeah, I'm always down to chop it up, man. It's good to do this stuff too, because it's just good for me to get some shit, some shit out and talk a little bit, So yeah, I appreciate it, bro. Thanks for having me on.
No problem, man. Where can everyone find you on social media, bro? And why subscribers can go over and check you out and check out your platform and see what you're doing there and eating testicles and steaks, baby.
Yeah. Just search my name, Pauly Long, Pauly, not Pauly with an IE, but Pauly with a Y, Long, Long. If you search me on any platform, you're gonna find me.
There you go. Make sure you go check out Pauly. Doing amazing things. Check out his business as well. And you never know, you might end up being mentored and by the one and only Pauly Long if you play your cards right. But this has been Shooting the Shit Uncensored with one of my favorite people in the world. And I know that I say that about every guest, but this time I actually mean it. The one and only Pauly Long. Thank you for being on the show. It's been a great conversation. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Piers, brother. See ya.
See ya.
Yeah.